are the Insiders, and man, are we excited to be here today.
It's a party, baby!
Yes, it is something that every American will never forget. Today is 9/11, and we would be remiss if we didn't start the show with that because it is, to myself and Jeff and all of you, everyone around the world, really, and especially those that were in New York. On that day, we'll never forget that day. And so obviously, we are sending out our thoughts and our prayers to all of the families who had lost loved ones, the families who had went through that, families of firefighters, doctors, nurses, everyone who was involved with that day. And can't even forget the soldiers who went to take the terrorists down afterwards. Many people kind of, don't really think about that, but that as well. And Jeff, I can remember it like it was yesterday. It's hard to believe it was 20 years ago. And I put it out on Twitter yesterday. I was in a district managers meeting that morning. We were in a Radio Shack, so all the TVs were playing, and I remember coming out. And everybody was saying, what's going on? What's going on? And then we broke out of the meeting. We went outside to watch. And our regional manager had just said to us, well, listen, go to your stores. Everybody just go because you've got employees there. We'll get in touch. And of course, it was just eerie. No one on the roads. We got to the mall. I worked at a mall at that point. No one in the mall. I did watch the special last night that WWE put out, and Jeff, I was talking to Jeff before the show started. Tremendous. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Sad, yes, but you can see some great things that WWE did, including Vince McMahon, and making the decision he did was turned out, obviously could have turned out horribly. But it turned out to be a wonderful thing for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people really probably got a lot of respect for him, including the people who worked for him. One of the things I didn't realize when I watched that was that they had the dark match with Stone Cold and The Rock after the show had ended. I had no idea, never saw it. But yeah, so they did that. And of course, the Lillian Garcia thing was hard to watch. Really, really tough to watch. I don't know how she did it. I always liked her to begin with, but I got a lot more respect for her from watching that because, man, I don't know how she got through it. I really don't know how she got through it. Yeah. So, Jeff, I'm sure you have your own memories of it as well, and I know you do because of your ties with, or you were in the military. So,
Yeah, I mean, I was, like I said, I think we talked about it a little bit last night. I was in one of my journalism classes, and we got word that there was something going on in New York, and you turn on the TV and it's almost like you're watching a movie. And in those first few moments, you're like, wait, a plane flew into the world, into one of the Twin Towers, and then you hear that there's a second one, and then you hear about the one at the Pentagon. which a lot of people don't even talk about that one as much.
Yep.
And your heart just breaks for all the people that were there, their families, their friends. I, man, it brings up so many emotions when thinking about it. And then when you're in the military and whenever you sign up to be in the military, one of the things that you realize in signing up that you may end up being called in battle. And after the sadness and everything that I felt, my mind immediately went to, am I going to get deployed at some point? And because I was in school and taking a certain amount of classes, um, I didn't have to go. But the unit that I was in did get deployed several times, as a matter of fact. And there were folks that we lost out of the unit that I was a part of with the National Guard. So I mean, it's a tough day. It's hard to believe that it's been 20 years. It's one of those things where it's like it's been so long, but it feels like it was just yesterday because of how visceral it was to see what we saw and to realize um, that it can happen here on our soil um, was just heartbreaking. So my heart goes out to the first responders, to the families of the loved ones they lost during that day. I see King Joshua said that
Yeah.
his grandfather passed away in the South Twin Tower. Our hearts are with you. May he rest in peace. We're thinking of you and your family on today, and yeah, it's just a sad, just sad, just sad.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that they talked about at the end of the documentary was that when things passed by a little bit afterward, the one thing that it brought was it brought people together as a country, which since then we are certainly not that way now. Unfortunately, it's really gone downhill,
Yeah,
but it did do that. So if anything good came out of that, which I mean, you can't say anything good would have come out of it, but if anything did come out of it, it was that everybody did get together, and you saw that on that show as well. Texas became a symbol for the United States that night with wrestling, and they took a really big chance. People don't realize that, but I mean, the security when I watched that and how the security had to check everybody in, and the security were around the stadium with dogs and things. I mean, they really took a big chance. And then Vince said at the end that when it was over and he was walking out of there and everybody was out of the building, he let out a big sigh of relief because he took a big chance doing that.
yeah,
So if you haven't watched it, do. It's a part of history, and yeah, like the saying says, never forget. And I don't think anyone ever will. And
no,
it really changed us and changed a lot of things that we do. Some for the better, because there's now things like anti-terrorism groups. There's things in the U.S. government and the military and stuff like that that probably weren't there before. So it would be probably really, really difficult for anything like that to ever happen again. The planning and staging that went into that by the terrorists that did that, it would be really difficult, I think, to get away with that today. But yes, all right. So definitely yes, we wanted to do that. because of the day. And I know some people had their own tributes as well. I know James Chadwick mentioned yesterday. He usually puts out his thing on Twitter, his list of wrestlers of the week. He wanted to be respectful, wait with that until tomorrow because of 9/11. So I'm sure everybody thought about it. Big Dan, I was 28 when it happened. I was friends with guys from our local fire department. So it hit home for me, especially it was so surreal and groundbreaking. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, all right. Let's get into some things. I'll say hello to some people, and we will get moving. We got a lot to cover, a lot of things to do, and we got a lot to talk about as well. So let's get into it, and let's say hello. Jen Carter, what's up with you? We've got Kevin Davis in the pop in and the pop out. We've got Derek. What's up, Derek? How are you? Watching LSU stink it up. I watched a little bit of the Oregon Ohio State game. That was a barn burner. That was a really, really good game. Oregon upset. Yeah, they upset Ohio State, which was a big upset. Big Dan saying welcome back, like welcome back, Cotter, and or welcome back. Jason Peace, what's up with you? John L, how are you? Chad Schrader, what's up, Chad? There is Conrad. What's going on with you, man? We have James Chadwick is there. Sean, what's up, Sean? How are you? What's up, everyone? Good to be back together again. Steve G says, hey, yo. Scott Steiner, if this is an award show and Walter versus Ilja 2 doesn't win match of the year, I riot. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. You may be right.
You get to have your own opinion on that, Scott, so you can – You can pick that match if you want to.
You certainly can. Everybody will get to vote on what their awards are for sure. Graham Caldwell, what's up, Graham? How are you? James says, out of true horror and tragedy came amazing human spirit and human compassion. Yes. Remember when Bush threw the first pitch out for the World Series? I do. Yeah. I do. In fact, in baseball today, the Mets and the Yankees, both New York teams, are actually playing one another. So very appropriate that happened. I did not see that Lillian Garcia sang the national anthem before SmackDown yesterday. Really? No, I didn't see that. That's cool. Conrad said I was a freshman, my third day of high school, and I later had a job that was because of that moment. Wow. Okay. Supersonic X, what's up? Let me see if I missed anyone. We have Delanio. Hey, Delanio, how's it going? We have Mark. I remember that day because of my family, and I moved from Texas to DC area 6 days before it happened. Okay. Trav EB says, yo. We have James Grant. What's up, James? Will Rally Sport Rally is here. Hi, guys. Love the stream. Did you see that Dana Brooke returned last night on WWE Main Event versus Doudrop? She's been off for 3 months. Nice to see. I did not see that. That's cool. Awesome. Trav EB says, stop watching WWE. Okay. Delanio says new NXT. Yeah, new NXT is coming up on Tuesday. All right. So welcome everyone in. We're going to get started. And this show could probably go on endlessly because we haven't been doing this in forever. But of course, we're not going to do that. So what we are doing tonight is we're going to, if you guys have ever seen the show BTI, it's a show on ESPN. Where they have two guys similar to us and two reporters that talk about certain topics, and they take a little bit of time on each one, and they get a little buzzer that goes off. That's kind of what we're going to do because we can spend forever on some of these things. We don't want to do that because we have so much to do. So we don't want to be here until midnight, and so that is how we're going to work it. We're going to start off as we always do. And there you can see it up there. We have the weekly news. We have the airing of Grievances will be here. Sell or no sell, what to watch for, book a wrestler, favorite moments of the week, lighters, light of the ring, of course, with Jesse Calynn. And we have, of course, our awards that we will have included in that as well. So, Jeff, I believe we are starting off with the news, some breaking news.
Yes, we are. Let's roll this thing. I haven't done this in so long, so so I feel out of practice with it. But yeah, we are starting the news, and we're talking about some all elite signings in the beginning. So let's go.
Yes, well, I mean, this was the big story of the week. There's no doubt, and it came from the pay-per-view last Sunday. Many people expected some big things. I don't know if they expected this much in one show. A lot of people were saying, I mean, obviously Punk's first match, and a lot of people expected Brian Danielson. But I don't think they really expected Ruby Soho and Adam Cole, baby. So you got everything. You got all of it. So the ending of the show is where you've got you had Adam Cole come out first, and then you had Brian Danielson come out afterwards. So it was just one after another after another. It was great to see Ruby as well show out in that Battle Royal. And Ruby, of course, is going to get a future title shot with Britt Baker. So, which will be interesting to see. I did hear both of them. I heard Ruby and Adam Cole talking on Busted Open about 3-4 days ago. Both very, very gracious of what WWE gave them and afforded them an opportunity. And they are both very, very excited to be in AEW and what is coming for them. Jeff, were you shocked that all of them showed up at once?
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked that they all showed that that Danielson and Cole showed up on the same one. I was a little bit surprised. I was surprised that Ruby Soho showed up on that, but it was the spot that she debuted in was great, so I don't have a problem with it. I mean, Suzuki was on there too, so that we might talk about that pay-per-view later. Just saying. But I can see the argument that maybe it was too much in one show, but that's what made it great, is that you got so much that night. And what's honestly lost in all of this is that there were some great stellar freaking matches on that card. I mean, you're talking about a tag team match that's probably match of the year candidate with the Lucha Bros and the Bucks.
Yep.
I mean, that was a hell of a match. So I mean, I don't know, but I mean, getting back to these signings, was I surprised? I mean, I guess in some ways, but it's kind of fitting given what they're trying to do right now. And I mean, I'm kind of excited to see what they do next. Which I know we're going to talk about a little bit, but I'm excited to see what they do next with all these talented folks. And yeah, that's true, James.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, that was the big stinker of the night. Yeah,
I mean, you got to have one bathroom break match. I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
That was it. I ended up watching it. I forget what night I couldn't sleep, but I ended up watching it. But yeah, it's one of those things where it was really good. Joe, I got to ask you a question though. Out of Cole, Danielson, and Punk, do any of those guys end up with the AEW title?
Wow. Oh man, that's a good question. I think if I had to choose one of them, I'd probably say Cole. I don't think I would. I don't think Punk's there for a title. I really don't. I mean, some might say, yeah, okay, he's gonna. I don't know. He kind of, now that he's going up against Powerhouse Hobbs, it seems like he's kind of getting other people. And it could be that he's getting other people over a little bit now. He's winning, so he's not. They're not beating him. But yeah, I think if any of those three, and I think Daniel Bryan's kind of there to bust up the whole elite thing. Like he's going to be like a Frankie Kazarian, and he's going to be the guy that's going to kind of try to take out Kenny and those guys as well. But yeah, I think if any of them, I think it's Adam Cole because he just, I don't know, they know how uber talented the guy is. He was fantastic in NXT. And he's got a lot of wrestling left in him, and I think of all of them, I think he stands the best chance. What do you think?
I agree. I think Punk may. I think Punk may get it at some point, and of course my sound is not working right now, but there we go.
All right, we're good.
I I think Punk may have it briefly, but I've got Adam Cole. I've
Yeah.
got Adam Cole.
Yeah, I think he's got the best shot to do it. I agree. I think he has the best chance to do it. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, it's a big time right now for fans of AEW. A lot of people are excited as to as to what's to come and what's next, and you got a little bit of a glimpse of that on Dynamite. So yeah, I mean, it is a big time to be a fan of that right now. You've got some great people over there, and Adam Cole said he was like extremely nervous when he came out. He said he really never felt that way before, but he said it was a huge moment for him. Ruby, the same thing. So they seem like they're very excited, and yeah, listen, it's cool to see, and it's cool to see where these guys all go. So, all right, moving on.
All right, man. So we got to talk about someone that we talk about a lot on this channel, and that's one Wyndham Rotunda.
Yes.
So there are a lot of rumors out there. Depending on which day it is and how the weather is, I mean, you have to do that, do that thing to test the wind. Some people are saying AEW, some people are saying Impact. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, it is really. It's funny because I've gotten to the point where I search his name almost on a daily basis, and I just Google search his name and look to see what comes up. And I know which ones to watch and which ones not to. I mean, which things are always going to just write clickbait stuff, and which. But today's thing was, and this was just a few hours earlier this afternoon, coming out now and saying that. He may be back earlier than people thought, which everybody was thinking it was 90 days. But here, the thing is, and I said this on Twitter, no one but Bray and Vince and maybe other powers that be in the WWE know how long that is. No one does. And don't let anyone tell you that they do, because they don't. They're not going to share that. It's confidential, first of all. Like a 90-day employment clause is confidential. You can't share that. So no one knows. So he might not have the 90 days. I mean, they had said that there were people that weren't going to get the 90 days, that we're only going to have 60 days, or that we're only so that's the first thing. We don't know. So it was said that he's going to show up on an episode of, was it an episode of Dynamite? Yeah. I think he said he was going to show up on an episode of Dynamite if he goes to AEW. And then if he goes to Impact, he's going to show up on that big pay-per-view in Vegas, which, is probably why we got the glitch the other night. So it's interesting to see. And I put out a poll, and I'm going to talk about the poll a little bit later on because that really, really interested me. That's going to be part of my grievances section. So a little preview. But yeah. So anyway, but listen, who knows, man? I know where I'd love to see him. I'm pretty sure it's the same as where Jeff would love to see him. But everybody's going to have a different answer here. Don't think anyone knows for sure, because they don't. People are guessing. The legit wrestling journalists, Deshaun Ross Saps, some of those people, they're coming out and saying, I don't think he's going to go there. They're not coming out and saying he's not going there or he is going there. They're kind of just stating an opinion. I don't think he's going there. And he said that about AEW. So it's crazy. Who knows? We have no idea, and we won't know until it gets a little bit closer to that date, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to hide where I want him to show up. I want him to show up in Impact.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no point in me, sugarcoating it. But we'll talk about that a little bit later too.
Yes.
But honestly, and I don't. Everything that you said, spot on. The one thing I want people to understand is, just because Uncle Dave sends something out, just because PW Insider says something, does not mean it's gospel.
Right.
That's what I want people to take away. The other thing is, and James, you got to get out of my head, dude. Um, you got
I
to get
like
out of
it. I
you
like
got
it,
to get out of
James.
my head,
I
James.
like it.
They like honestly at this point they're looking so forward to him signing somewhere, and they desperately want it to be AEW to fit a certain narrative. Um, and they spent years talking about how dumb his gimmick was.
Yep.
Well, how does that work out for you? How does that work? Joey's Adventure said, "What glitch?" Joey, go back and look at the promo for Bound for Glory for Impact Wrestling.
Right when it
And
gets to the Vegas sign.
yep, it's about 14 seconds in. And thank you, C Wrestling, because he's the one that pointed that out to me. He gave me the exact timestamp. So about 14 seconds in, look for that glitch when it gets to the Vegas sign, which is very telling because he just happens to be a fan of the team that resides there now. It would be very, very good
Yes, he
to see
does.
him in Vegas. So, just don't listen. If you're gonna listen to or read the quote unquote dirt sheets, I mean, just because someone has something in their name and they have a website and they post a story, so to speak, doesn't mean they're credible. Just be mindful of what you believe out there.
Yes. Yes, and I'll cover that a little bit coming up as well. So
Okay.
yes, but I agree. I absolutely agree. Hey guys, I've been listening. Sorry, too busy yelling at LSU.
I understand that. I was doing that last Saturday at Clemson. So,
Yeah, it is. College football is upon us, and the NFL is upon us tomorrow. Okay, let's move on, shall we?
oh, Joe, this is the moment that broke my face earlier this week. So,
It really did. Like I'm sitting there. If you didn't watch our Impact stream, he makes his way into the ring, and everybody just stops, and everybody in the chat's going, "OMG! Oh, awesome!" Blah blah blah. It's going up and down, and there I am looking, and I'm like, "Who is this guy?" And I'm yelling, and I'm looking at Jeff, and Jeff's just sitting there like this, like eyes wide open, and he's just sitting, and I'm like, who is this guy? And I'm trying to ask everybody, and nobody's saying anything. Nobody's helping me out. The guy that never watches New Japan, I have no clue. I'm all the from the time Iceman said a 7-footer, and then we get this guy who will show up, and I'm like, now, and I should have remembered because I did see him on AEW when he came on AEW. Had no idea. It just looked a little bit different, I guess. But yeah, Jeff was Jeff was literally stunned.
yeah.
And yeah, so this. And Jeff, I know you like to say it all the time, but don't say that Jeff didn't tell you also about 6 months ago. Because when this all started with Kenny, he was talking about the potential of the Bullet Club and coming to the United States and having this big, and he even mentioned out he have a big pay-per-view that would include all of this. So again, it was out there. You can go back. The facts are there. You can go back and listen to the shows. So it looks like that's what we're getting, Jeff.
Yeah.
And oh boy, is that pay-per-view going to be something else?
I mean, at some point, we're going to get the Elite versus the Bullet Club from New Japan. It's gonna happen. Like it's gonna happen. Um, but yeah, this was a moment. I mean, Hikuleo was like, I kind of had a feeling that he would show up at some point, but I didn't know. I didn't know it was going to happen this soon, like before Victory Road. Um, and then I guess the moment that stunned me is that for me, I started running through my head of when is God going to show up? Do they show up at Victory Road and confront the Good Brothers after the match with Rich Swann and Willie Mack? Or do they show up on an episode of Impact leading up to Bound for Glory? And that's why, like, all these things started running through my head. I try to be a humble person, Joe. Like I try to be.
You remember
And a
that
lot of,
song? Remember that song, Jeff? Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble
yeah,
when you're perfect in every way. Yes.
I try to be humble. I find it hilarious when I see people who don't watch as much Impact as we do saying all of these things about how these people are going to show up and how they've been calling this interaction between these companies for some time. And I just remember back to when we first started covering Impact and we first found out that Kenny was going to be a part of everything. And I said this 6 to 8 months ago. And I fully realize that people won't always give you your flowers while you can appreciate them, but I'll gladly start accepting them at some point, because I did. I mean, I did say it, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, um, but it was said on this channel a
Oh,
long
yeah.
time ago. So, it's not like we put out a tweet 3 weeks ago or 2 months ago and, trying to blow smoke up anybody's behind. I mean, this is stuff that you can go back and catch old episodes, old watch alongs, and this has been out there. So I kind of rest my case at this point.
Why waste your time with the dirt sheets when you could just listen to us? Just kidding. But yes, it's looking like this is going to be an event for the ages, and we are going to get to watch it along with you guys, which is amazing. So can't wait, can't wait. All right,
Yep.
what's up next?
All right, man. So we're gonna go from some very good news to two legends being critical of one WWE right now. So
Yeah, Mick Foley put out a video, of course, saying that he just recorded this little video on Facebook that made the rounds, saying that the WWE is in trouble because of the signings for AEW, and because how he feels that talent now really wants to be going to somewhere else and going to AEW. And then he went on to say a couple of comments that really pointed out creative, and saying that he thinks that a lot of it's due to the fact that they don't, people, the talent doesn't feel that creative can do them justice and really take care of them. And Mick was, and he was very grateful again too. He's saying that how they really took care of him, but he also said that that was a long time ago. And then he finished by saying, if things don't change, he also pointed out the thing with Karrion Kross, and if things don't change, that they are going to be in some trouble. And then he posted he posted a still shot. I think it was yesterday, a poster of Karrion Kross going up against John Morrison from Impact, and then a current picture with John Morrison squirting him with the dripstick from WWE, and just kind of to try to show you how far it's gone to this point. I don't know, Jeff. To me, they both came off as being, and listen, they are both ambassadors of WWE, and they always will be, regardless of where they go. But I think that, to me, it came out of love for them. I don't think they're doing it to be jerks. I think they're legit, concerned about their old stomping ground. And I think they're legit concerned about the tide that's turning. And, maybe, and they're in the hopes that Vince might actually listen. If one of them comes out and says it. I mean, hell, man, for as close as he is to The Undertaker, if The Undertaker ever gave Vince a call and said, hey, you need to get going here. This is disconcerting. You need to get on top of this, because you're gonna really lose out here. I'm sure he would listen. But listen, when you got legends like this saying things, you might have to stop and listen.
yeah, I mean, not only are these two guys legends, they're WWE Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And that means something in the WWE. Neither of these guys were wrong. Let's just go ahead and be honest about that. These guys love WWE. They just want it to be better. And at this point, WWE seems like a live action Disney movie. That's how, like, honestly, it looks like they took a cartoon from back in the day from Disney and they're turning these wrestlers into live action, movies. And that's what it feels like. Some of the decisions that they make no sense at all. When you have someone that's red hot, like a Karrion Cross, like a Keith Lee, and you bring them up, and all of a sudden you want to change everything, why? Why? That's why you don't get the carryover audience from NXT to a Raw. Because they know already, as soon as Triple H does the pose with them in that photo, and they know that they're going up, it's like, okay, I'm done with this because I know they're going to screw it up. And I used to get, I'm not even going to lie to you, I used to get irritated when people would say that. Like, I would be like, just give it time, give them a chance. Maybe they're going to do something. I can't say that anymore. I just can't, because they've shown me time and time again that they're prone to screw things up like this. Is the stuff with John Morrison comical at times? Yeah, it is. But also look at what Johnny Impact did in Impact.
He was considered one of the best wrestlers out there.
Right.
Yeah.
See, okay. Can I take like a quick moment to respond to Thomas here? Because Thomas is not all about ratings. I don't care about ratings. I'm talking about the NXT fans that are diehard NXT fans that don't turn on Raw. I don't care about the ratings. I'm talking about the people that follow NXT religiously, but will tell you in a heartbeat, there's no way I'm watching anything from the main roster. If they carried over, then Raw would not. It would be well above 2 million. Your numbers just prove that. But those people don't always go over to Raw or even to SmackDown. And Conrad said something earlier. That was probably the best SmackDown episode of the year last night.
I agree.
Like that. It really was. So again, people get so caught up in the ratings. I give two craps about the ratings. What I care about is sound and logical booking decisions. And until they start making some of those, not only are they not going to get people that follow their favorites from NXT, but they're going to start losing more people. And guess what? Monday night starts Monday Night Football for real.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
Oh boy.
The only time I'm going to talk about a rating is right here, right now. Let's see how low that number is. Monday night Tuesday morning. Let's see what that rating is then. But honestly, this has to do with what they are doing from a booking standpoint.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's someone. It's interesting because they were talking about this morning on another wrestling show, and one of the person they had call in, one of the people who's listening to the show called in and brought up a funny point and said, you know what I think, and this goes back to Jeff's booking comment. He mentioned that he thinks they do too many pay-per-views. He said, remember when you only had like the big four and they were able to book longer. They were able to flesh out storylines longer instead of going to these one pay-per-view, and having to change storylines constantly throughout the course of the year. He might have a point. How do you really need 12 pay-per-views a year? Yeah, I can say, I can probably count right now, Jeff, there's at least 4 or 5 of them that I could do away with and I wouldn't have one issue with it. At least probably 4 or 5 of them that I wouldn't care if they ever came back, because they're not the big ones that everybody cares about anyway. So yeah, and we'll see with NXT. Listen, I'm not down on NXT. The thing about Cross, yes, I totally agree. Everybody's kind of panicking about NXT this week. I don't know. I saw some things. I saw that they're going to be bringing. What is it? Is it Scott Steiner's son? No,
Yeah,
Rick Steiner's
Rick
son.
Steiner's son.
Rick
Yeah.
Steiner's son, and the other one who's supposed to be the next Brock Lesnar. I forget his name. Oh my gosh, he followed me on Twitter too, and I totally forgot his name. Oh gosh, help me out. What's his name? Well, anyway, I think the two of them are going to end up showing up on NXT on Tuesday. So it's going to Parker Bordeaux. Parker, yeah. I think that both of them are going to show up on Tuesday, and I listen. I think it'll be exciting. Everybody wanted to see them anyway, so I think it's going to be an exciting show. So we'll see. We'll see. Parker, yeah, thank you, Conrad. It came out of my memory eventually. Gunnar Harland, yes, yeah. So, all right, man. I think we're done with the news part of it.
Yeah, and we're getting to people's favorite time, and I'm about to air a grievance on somebody in the chat, but I'll be nice tonight. I'm not going to argue with somebody. It is what it is.
Yeah,
what it is. I love it. It makes me smile. Anyway, you ready for this? This is people's favorite part of the show.
Let's do it. This became everybody's favorite section of the show. We are going to air some grievances.
Here we go.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
We are at the section of the show that everybody has grown to love so much. And when we're not on, it's not really us they're asking for. It's where are the grievances going to be aired this week? It's come to that. So we've created a monster with the airing of grievances section of the show. All right. Jeff, I guess if you don't mind, I'll start off. Mine should be pretty quick.
I don't mind at all.
Alrighty. So I put out, sometimes I like to play devil's advocate a little bit. Yes, there is a little bit of an evil streak in me. There is a reason why I watch a lot of slasher and horror films, because when people do that, you always have that little bit of a sadistic streak in you, and I definitely do. I just don't show it very often. But I put a poll out earlier this afternoon, and the reason I did it is because whenever I put something out there about Bray Wyatt, right? And normally I just end up sharing something that I happen to see, and then it gets shared, regardless of who it is. To be honest with you, I don't really even look to see many times who writes it. I just kind of share it and throw it out there because I think it's interesting and I think people will talk about it. So that's what I did earlier today. And the poll was about Bray Wyatt, and it was about where would you like, I'll read it. So where would you rather see Bray Wyatt go next? Most importantly, why? If you choose other, which was one of the choices, tell us your choice. So I put that out there, and as of right now, we have 55%. Now that 142 votes. We have 55% AEW. We have 26% Impact Wrestling. We have 16% back to WWE, and we have 3% other. And then I said, I asked people to reply other. Now, when this poll first started, I'm glad to see it kind of tilted in a different direction. But when this first started, AEW was overwhelming. The second choice was back to WWE. For the longest time, that was beating Impact Wrestling. So I sat there, and I had to do this in work. So I'm sitting on my lunch break, and I'm looking at it, and I'm literally befuddled. I'm completely dumbfounded by this, because what I see out on the internet and what I see on social media is I see comments from people saying, I want what's best for Bray Wyatt. That's what I see. I want what's best for him. I don't care where he goes. I will follow wherever he goes. But then I'm seeing people voting for back to WWE. Now, maybe I'm crazy, but when you get let go abruptly from a position in a place, when they take your name of two characters that you've worked on for years and years and years, and they take them from you, and they're still selling merch with those names on them at events and on the shop. When they do to you what they've done with creativity, with the Goldberg thing, with all the other things we've heard about, and someday down the road we'll hear about everything more. How in God's name can you, as a fan of Bray Wyatt, say you want to see him back in WWE? How can you do that? I'm dumbfounded, completely dumbfounded. Now, I guess maybe you're just a WWE mega fan and you don't want to see anybody else. You don't want to watch anybody else. Maybe that's what it is. But to me, if you are a fan of the wrestler, like everybody says they are, and I don't know, are we just saying all the right things? Are we just saying things to say it? Are we? Is that what it is? Or do you mean it? Because if you're a fan of that person, you want him to be happy. You want him to do what he wants to do. Impact Wrestling, regardless of whether you watch it or not, it is well known to allow people to be creative. So whether you watch Impact or not, it's beside the point. You know, AEW is fine, but to think that he's going to go march back to WWE, I don't know. I can't turn around and say that I think personally that that's a good thing for him. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my opinion. Trav, if you believe that this is a work, wow, dude. I got more things to sell you if you really believe that. No way. No. Stop believing that, please. If you do now, just stop. It's not a work. But, you know, so my grievance, I guess, is you can't turn around and say you want what's best for a wrestler and then turn around and say you want him back in a place that really never did him justice at all by allowing him to do what he wanted to do with his character or otherwise. You can't really say that. Look me in the eye, personally, because I'm saying this is me. Look me in the eye and tell me that that's not because of you. You want him there. For whatever reasons you have, you're not thinking about him. You're thinking about you. You want him there. And that is a whole big different thing. For whatever reason, you want him in WWE. Whether whether you don't want to watch anything else, you don't want to watch AEW, you really don't want to. Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think some people, if he decides to go there, are gonna cringe because of all of this hatred built up between the two mega powers of the wrestling business right now. They're gonna cringe with the fact that they have to watch AEW now. Now, I don't understand that with Impact because Impact is just a fun thing. And they're not these warring factions, or they're not considered to be up there with these warring factions. But whatever it is, this is not you thinking about him. Don't lead yourself to believe that. Don't make yourself think that you're thinking about what's best for him. You're not. You're thinking about what's best for you. I'm done.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And lots of interesting discussion in the chat about that. So good stuff. I'm gonna keep mine real simple. I'm gonna try to be brief, but I don't know. I might get fired up. And
can I just say one real quick thing, Jeff, and
sure.
I'm gonna let you go.
Sure.
See your comment. Somebody commented on Twitter with that too. How many people can you tell me that had creative a lot that they allowed to do things? And I said the same thing. How many people over the years can you literally say They gave creative assurance, or like you said, assurances. They gave freedom to do things in writing. How many do you think that got that? Seriously, I'd love to know, because I can't, more than a handful. I don't think so. I don't think so. Undertaker, The Rock, maybe. Stone Cold at some point, maybe. Hogan. Cena. Other than that, and now maybe Roman Reigns. I don't think there are that many, and I really don't think that. And I love Bray Wyatt, but I really don't think Bray Wyatt is held in that regard, as far as Vince is concerned, anyway. So again, I'm speculating, and that's nothing at all against Bray. I said, I love him, but I don't think that they would do that. All right, Jeff, go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna keep mine. I'm gonna focus on trolls. I'm just gonna talk about trolls real quick. And for me, I need for people to understand that just because someone doesn't agree with you, or they make a point about something that you don't necessarily you don't agree with, or they make a point about something and then you make an assumption um, that they're going a certain direction, but it's not the same thing, doesn't give you the right to be a jerk to people. I see that all too often on social media. I see it all too often in YouTube chats, and not just ours. Um, and it really irritates me, because if you don't like something, just don't watch. Don't if you're. I'll give you a prime example. There was a post today on Facebook that I was looking at, and it was of this kid who is 15 years old doing art, and he does these incredible drawings. And there's these grown ass men and people basically saying how shitty the drawings were, and how, oh, it looks like this person's on crack, and what did you do? It's a 15-year-old kid doing drawings, putting them out there for the world to see, and you want to be a jerk. Why? Because you have a phone or you have a computer that you can type. You know, your Twitter fingers get a little bit busy, and you can type and say things behind the keyboard that you probably wouldn't have the balls to say to someone's face. I don't know. I mean, maybe you would say it in that person's face. I have no idea. I'm not going to judge you on that. But if it's me and I don't like something, I just don't say anything about it. If I'm watching a show, perhaps that, I don't know, maybe only has 20 people watching it, I probably don't say something if someone has something to say that I don't agree with, but I didn't give them an opportunity to fully explain what they were talking about. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just too logical, because I think sometimes people lose that logic part of the brain to try and be cool and edgy, and I want to go viral and I want to do this. Honestly, that just tells me that you need attention in the real world. Like, if your life is lacking so much that you have to go on social media or onto YouTube or Facebook or everyone else or everywhere else, if you have to spend time to go at people, I pray for you. I pray for your life, because something is lacking. Something You're missing it. Like you're missing something in your life. And I so desperately want you to find whatever it is that's missing, because there's no such thing. And I think I've said this before. There's no such thing as being a heel on social media or in a YouTube chat. You know what we call that in the real world? An asshole. That's what we call it in the real world. So if you like being an asshole, go right ahead. Hey, that's fine. But it's not high school anymore. You're not going to get most popular kid. You're not going to get that superlative. Sorry about that. Maybe you didn't get it when you were in high school, and that's why you're having a rough time at it. And honestly, and I know C said this earlier, this isn't just for Thomas, and I'm not picking on him. I'm just pointing out how sometimes when you make a comment and you don't know where someone's going and you don't give them an opportunity to finish what they're saying and draw the parallel, you jump to conclusions. You jump, and when you jump to conclusions and when you assume, I don't have to say the rest of it because you know the rest of it. It just makes you look, it just makes you look immature and foolish. And my last thing is this. This world at this moment is suffering from a heart problem. And what I mean by that is that we are not all of us, but some people are so focused on self and so focused on making a big splash so they can be seen that they can't take 2 seconds to be a decent human being. They got to tear other people down. They got to crap all over other people's opinions because somebody doesn't agree with them. You know what? If you like AEW and that's all you like to watch, good for you. If you love WWE and that's all you like to watch, good for you. But guess what? Being an asshole to somebody because they like something you don't like isn't cool. It's not trendy. It's not edgy. It's not being a heel. So the next time you want to type something out on social media or in a chat and you think you're really knocking that person down a peg or two, ask yourself a question. Are you knocking that person down, or are you revealing what you really are? I'm done.
Yeah, great stuff. And I mean, my response to a lot of that, like what Jeff sees and all that stuff, and that's why I put out the Clint Eastwood gif all the time, because that's my response to it, because I literally just don't get it. Like I just don't get it. I'd rather just put that little thing out where he's just sitting on the porch and he's just like, like I just don't get it. I can't see what the purpose is. Like, we had someone in our streams, the last couple streams that we did, and I'm not going to mention names, but it was a person who I had found out that was not the person that they were saying that it was. So it's a fake account, which happens constantly. But for them to come in under another person's name, no less. So they're not coming in and saying anything that is their own idea, because they don't even have the guts or the balls to come in and put their own name up on the screen. They're stealing someone else's name to come into a chat with a fake account and then start crap in the chat. Like, are you serious? Like, where are your brains? Like, what is it? What, like Jeff said, the only explanation, like you said, has got to be that they are just there is something not right. They are missing something. That is the only logical explanation behind it, because it behooves me. How many people will sit out there I could not have a minute of time to sit on a computer, go through the process of making an account, because that's not an easy thing. To make an account with Google, that's not like it takes 2 seconds. You have to actually literally do work for that. I would have no time whatsoever to go through and make fake Google accounts with fake names just so I can go into someone's chat and start to bitch about something I don't like. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to use my own damn name and go in and bitch under my own name. You're not going to get recognized anyway because everybody didn't even know who you were.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't get it. I really just don't get it. And like I said, there has to be a disconnect. There has to be something there. I mean, are they lonely? Are they, do they have something tragic happen in their lives? Are they just angry at everything? To me, that has to be what it is. Because I can't think of anything else logical about it. So,
right.
Good stuff. James Chadwick said, I'm too effing lazy to make yeah, same here. I have no time. Listen, I have time. When I have free time, there's things that I want to do in my free time. And it certainly isn't staying on social media and thinking to myself, ooh, I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to go in. I'm going to make 16 fake accounts today. And then later, I'm going to go on 16 different streams with my 16 different accounts. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to get everybody riled up and mad at me. And then you know what I'm going to do? This is the best part. I'm going to delete it. I'm not going to delete my account then. I'm going to show them. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to say it. And then I'm going to delete my account. That'll show them.
I'm going to win the internet today. Yes.
Oh my God. I just
freaking life.
I just can't. I just can't fathom. I can't fathom it. I just can't fathom it. I cannot figure it out. Cannot figure it out. Anyway, there you go, guys. Everyone's favorite segment of our show, the airing of grievances for this week. Always fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe sometimes we can even make you think a little bit. Maybe make you say, while you're in the chat. So hope you all enjoyed that segment this week. And hopefully we'll be back sooner than a couple of months next time to do it again.
Yeah,
we have a pay-per-view. We have a pay-per-view already next Saturday. So
yeah, and one the following week. But who's counting? All right, you ready now? This is another crowd favorite.
Yep.
So we'll go here real quick.
Let's roll. You want to ring the bell? Ding, ding. All right, we are doing the sell or no sell segment of our show. If you're new to this and you have not seen one of these before, well, first of all, welcome. And if you haven't subbed already, do that. And also hit the like on the stream as well and hit the notifications button also. But if you're new to this is our debate segment. So Jeff and I answer a question. We will talk about what our responses are to the question. You guys in the chat, play right along and let us know what you think of the question also, and we will read some of yours. So, question number 1 is topic number 1. Brock Lesnar will dethrone Roman Reigns. Jeff, what say you?
Oh man. Again, I knew this was a question, and yet I'm not prepared. So, I am going to no sell it. I'm going to no sell it because I think it's going to be either Brock costing Roman against the Demon King or Big E cashes in. I think one of those two things happen, but I don't think it'll be Brock. I think they'll do something without the title in the equation, but yeah, I'm going to go no sell on this one, Joe. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I'm going no sell on it too. I think that you know what, I like that whole thing with because now you've got the questions out there. Are they going to pin a loss on Finn Balor's Demon King, or are there going to be shenanigans in some way, shape, or form? And then you've got Big E as a factor as well. I still think that the long play is going to come into effect here. I still think they're going to put this off until after the draft. And I think Heyman does something very shady in the draft. We've never seen that before. We've never seen anything happen behind the scenes of a draft. But I think Paul Heyman is going to do something very shady and get Brock Lesnar moved. And that's how I think that that's going to happen. And I think they're going to put that off, even as far as even WrestleMania. So I don't think he will. Who does? I don't know. Could Balor do it? Possibly. Could Big E do it? Possibly. They're definitely both candidates. And I would think at this point anyway, I think they're higher candidates than Brock. I don't think Brock's going to win that title. Not yet. And maybe not for a while. And like I said, it could be SummerSlam, or I'm sorry, it could be Mania next year in Dallas when those two finally meet. So I think also kind of a behind the scenes there, but I think they had to change plans because I think they wanted The Rock, and that's not going to happen. So I think that they maybe had to change plans, and this might be why they're doing it. So, all right, what's our next topic? Let's see what everybody's saying. No sell for Big Dan, Big E, Finn, Seth, or Drew are my top four. I think Big E will cash in on Bobby in 2 days, says James Grant. On Bobby, okay. I was like Roman going to lose to Brock. Crazy how times change, says Jason Michael. The Rock, says Trav. Big E cashes in on Lashley on Monday. Okay. That'd be a big thing because you're not expecting it. He's been taunting Roman, but maybe that'd be cool. Yeah. No sell. I think Roman and Heyman go to Raw in the draft with the Bloodline, and Brock stays on SmackDown. All right, what's up next?
All right, we talked about them earlier, Joe, but sell or no sell, the best place for Wyndham Rotunda to land is AEW.
I think I know what everyone's going to say. And I think you guys probably know what we're going to say. I'm going to say no sell. I'm going to no sell it. But the reason being is because I think that he will be allowed to flesh out the character that he wanted to flesh out. I think that, you know, we talked about this thing with EC3 that Braun is doing. He could even go that route if he wanted to. And EC3 talked about him bringing out his final form. He could go and do that with EC3 and then march right into Impact from there. I think it's the perfect place for him to go because of what is there already. I mean, you have Su Yung, you have Undead Brides being formed, you have Rosemary there, you have Decay there. All of them have supernatural things going on, right? So, I mean, you have Swingers Palace, you have promos. Listen, the promos that they do on that show are, in my opinion anyway, better than most. Unless you get the really big heavy hitters on the other channels, on the other shows doing big things. But they do promos really well. Who did the best promos in WWE with his characters? Bray Wyatt did. So I'm going to say that Impact, I think. And even listen, I don't care if he doesn't stay very long. Maybe he comes and cuts a deal similar to what Morrissey has, and he works there for a year, and then he goes somewhere else. I'm fine with that because we will see him do something special in Impact, and man, oh man, will he bring eyes to that show. You know, if you don't have eyes on it now, you will. And that's another good point that they can sell him on. They could say, you know, you are going to bring a ton of viewers here. That's a big thing for wrestlers. So, What about you, Jeff? What do you think?
I mean, I alluded to it earlier. I'm going to no sell it. I think Impact is the place for him to land. And I've seen a couple of these comments Tony, because he said, can they afford them? Here's where I'm going to push back on that, Tony. I'm going to ask you this. One, if you feel wronged, and you know that you have the goods, but you know if you go to one place, you may not be able to get the same amount of shine that you would at a smaller place. You're a big fish in a small pond, as opposed to being a big fish among a lot of other big fish. Is it about the money to you? Bray doesn't strike me as a person that it's about the money to him. It's about telling his story. And I think if we're looking at it from that standpoint, Impact is the perfect place for him to be. Perfect place. Because I think they'll allow him to tell a story. Plus, if he wants to do something with Broken Matt Hardy, they can bring Broken Matt. They can bring Matt from AEW to Impact back home where Broken Matt was born, and you can do something with those two guys in Impact. He can do stuff in New Japan. How about Bray showing up at somewhere for AAA? No, I get it. I get it, Tony. I'm not. You have your opinion. I'm not saying anything against your opinion. I'm just saying I'm bringing it from a different perspective. That's all.
Yep.
But I think he's got a little more flexibility by going to Impact. He'll be able to go to a lot of places, a lot of different places, by going to Impact. So I'm just gonna exactly, Trav. Bray in New Japan would be great. My point. Exactly. So I think sometimes, and Conrad just said it, sometimes you're willing to take a pay cut because you know that you're going to bring the goods. And you know that on the back end, like on the front end, you may take a L in terms of some finances. But on the back end, you know that you're going to raise your stock. You're going to raise your stock. So that's why, that's just my opinion. Just my opinion. Tony, I'm not hating on yours. I'm just giving an alternate view of things. That's it. We're all good.
It's a really, I mean, it's a really odd question to ask, but it's, look, there are factors all over the place, and everybody's going to say everybody's going to talk with their heart about it, because they're going to say where they would like to see him go. And I agree with Jeff. I just think that, and the big fish in the small pond comment is the key, because you got to remember who you have over there now. And just the 4 people that you just got, those people, CM Punk, remember where Bray was when CM Punk was around.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Bryan Danielson. Now, Bryan put Bray over in a match. Adam Cole. Yeah, these are huge names. Huge, huge names. So where does he fit in? And what's to say, guys, too, that they've been working together now for the past 8 months or longer? What's to say, like Jeff said, that there's not talks going on with Tony Khan and Scott D'Amore? And Tony is saying, you know what? He's going to come over to us, but he wants to start with you guys and work there for a while. You think Scott D'Amore is going to refuse that? And like Jeff said, then they could have other stuff going on. So there you go. Yeah, I agree. I think it would be a huge. And remember, everybody was saying when this whole thing with Kenny was going on that they were doing it to boost Impact's ratings and boost their pay-per-views. Well, do you not think that now that that's over, that if Bray shows up at a pay-per-view with a new persona, whatever he brings, that's not going to boost Impact's pay-per-views? Yeah. So, yep. All right. What's next?
All right. Speaking of Impact, Joe, Impact's Bound for Glory will be the best pay-per-view of the year. Sell or no sell?
Well, it's got some tough competition.
Yes.
Because it's going up against that last AEW one, which everybody is saying that's the pay-per-view of the year, bar none. I would add a few. I'd probably include Slammiversary, and I would probably include Empower. I know people are going to say I'm crazy, but I would probably add those to the list. But listen, it's always tough to call something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But because we don't know exactly what we're going to get yet. But if we get everything that it looks like we're going to get, then I'm going to sell it. And I'm going to sell it because of the fact that we are getting things.
I love it.
I'm going to sell it because we are getting things that we have never, ever seen before. And how many pay-per-views in wrestling can say that? How many pay-per-views can turn out and say, we gave you something you never thought you would see before? And if it comes to fruition that Jeff was talking about, and we get the Bullet Club versus the Elite at that pay-per-view, oh, man. So I'm going to sell it. Go ahead, Jeff.
This is tough, man, because
tough.
I so want to sell it.
Yep.
I'm going to no-sell it for right now, though. The reason why I say I'm going to no-sell it is because I don't know what matches we're getting.
Yep.
And I don't know how they're going to use the crossovers. Now, if we get the Elite versus the Bullet Club, that's tough to beat. If we end up getting, I don't know, if we end up getting some Chris Bay and Adam Cole,
No.
If we get a surprise and see Wyndham Rotunda show up, that would be tough to beat. So there are a lot of ifs. And like the old saying used to go, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. So I can't go off of the ifs just yet. But man, if they do what I think they're going to do with this show, if they do what I think, then it'll be hard to go up against it. It'll be hard to not say it's the pay-per-view of the year. So, yeah. But for right now, I can't go there just yet.
Yeah, it's fair enough. And like I said too, it's almost like you want to sell it with a caveat because you don't really know what we are going to get. So it's too early. It's too soon to know. But if you get all that stuff, and then on top of it, you get Bray Wyatt show up. I mean, yeah. So, oh man. All right. Well, there you go. Thanks for playing along. A lot of you were saying, let's see. Mark said, I second that, but I feel this could be the biggest pay-per-view that Impact has done in a while. Oh, I think it's going to be one of the biggest for Impact. No doubt.
Period. I think it'll be the biggest that they've done in history. Period.
Yeah.
And I know that's even saying a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel confident saying that. And Tony just said something, and Conrad is agreeing with it. And I just figured out that he's in the States. If we get Josh Alexander versus Will Ospreay, oh my God, I may pass out.
Yeah.
I may pass out.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. SC Williams is saying, stop, please stop. Don't tease me like this. Josh versus Daniel Garcia. I don't see how 3 debuts, a historic return match, and possibly a match of the year, cage match, and 1 pay-per-view can be beat. Well, that's cool, Trav. Obviously, you disagree, and that's perfectly fine. All right. So there you go. That is our sell or no sell segment, and we are moving on to our what to watch for segment.
Yeah, we got a couple of things. So let's go here real quick. I know the first one. I know the first one. A lot of people are hyped about. A lot of people are hyped about this one, but Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor is something I really wish I had more time to watch, and only because a lot of you guys in the chat talk about it a lot. James Chadwick loves it. I know other people that watch it all the time. Obviously, Danhausen is there, and would be a big selling point for me too because I love him. I have seen other characters on this show. I did watch that Pure tournament that they did last year, which was really good. I wish I had more time to see it, and I wish it wasn't on at weird times. For me, it comes on like really, really late at night, early in the mornings. But yeah, those of you in the chat that are excited about this, James Chadwick and others is on, let us know what you're most excited about with this. What are the big matches? Because again, I don't watch it, so I do not know. Jeff, what are you may know better than me. What are some of the big matches they have going?
There's a 4-way for the ROH title. EC3, Bandito, I forget. I'm trying to think of who else is in there. My brain is fried.
Oh, EC3 is actually in that. Okay.
Yeah, he's in it.
Wow. Okay.
Let's see the women's tournament final is tomorrow night. The six-man title is on the line tomorrow night. Brody King, there you go. Thank you. I'm trying to think of what else. I know. There's a lot. I mean, I'm so excited to see the whole thing. Rock. Yeah. There's just so much that I want to see from it tomorrow night. Lee is going to be on there. I know there's a couple tag matches that I'm looking forward to. So yeah, I mean. It's stacked, man. It's stacked. It's going to be a good card.
They are really starting to gain some momentum, I think.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. They really are. So, yeah, I'm trying to pull up the.
I was going to say, go ahead. I'll read some comments while you're looking. SC Williams says EC3 for world champion. Tony said that segment was awesome. Thanks, Tony. Yeah, the debate segment, you mean? Yeah, we enjoyed doing that. Jeff, did you see Shane Taylor's tweet earlier? Says James.
I did.
SC Williams said, "Do you got the card, please, Jeff?" Yeah, he's trying to look it up.
Yeah, now. I got it right here. Right here.
Go ahead.
So, 4-way elimination match for the ROH title: Brody King versus EC3, Demonic Flamita and Bandito. Women's title, women's world title tournament: Roxy, Miranda. Pure title match. This is what I'm really looking forward to. Josh Woods and Jonathan Gresham. 6-man tag team title match. There's just too many. I'm just going with Shane Taylor Promotions. That's all I'm going to say. Jake Atlas and Taylor Rush, Dalton Castle and Eli. 6-man tag match, Violence Unlimited. You got Homicide, Chris Dickinson, and Tony Deppen versus John Walters, LSG, and Lee Moriarty. And then tag team match, the Briscoes against OGK, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett. So it's a jam-packed card, man. I'm excited to watch it.
That's on tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, it's on tomorrow night.
Tomorrow at 8:00. What time is it on?
Let me see. Yep, 8:00. 8:00 tomorrow night. Yep.
Well, there you go. If you are fans of Ring of Honor or just fans of wrestling and you want something to do for tomorrow, check it out. What is it on Fight?
Yeah, it's on Fight.
There you go. So go and get it on Fight TV and check it out. EC3 could be the world champ. That'd be cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
And here's the thing: if you have Honor Club, it's free. Which I have Honor Club, so it's free.
Nice. There you go. There you go. Well, there you go. Yeah, so that's what to watch for the weekend. It always seems like there's something in wrestling going on for the weekend. So James Chadwick says, can't wait to watch it. First hour of ROH is free on YouTube. Chris Smith says, all right, cool. There you go. There you go. Gus, that comes on at 8:00 on Fight TV.
On Fight.
There you go. So something to do on a Sunday. like I said, always cool stuff going on weekends with wrestling. All right. Very cool. We are going next to,
Hold on. We got one.
Oh,
We got one more.
oh,
We won't be on next week. So
yes, that's right. Yes. Yeah, so this is next Saturday. Of course, we won't be doing this show because we'll be doing that. We have a pay-per-view coming up. So make sure you join us this coming Thursday night because it will be a go-home show for Impact. And leading into Victory Road, there are some great matches that have been announced for this. Josh Alexander and Chris Sabin should be an amazing match that I can't wait to see. Moose and Morrissey together. I can't wait to see. There are a lot of cool things that are going to happen at Victory Road. And this is just one of their Saturday pay-per-views. So this isn't one of the big ones, but I think it's going to be really fun to watch. So make sure you come out and check it out with us next Saturday night. Probably an 8:00 start, I'm guessing, Jeff. They usually do.
yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So if it's an 8:00 start, we'll start at 7:30 like we always do. So make sure you come out and check it out. What are you looking forward to most on that, Jeff?
Man, Josh and Chris Sabin, I think. But I got to be honest, Finjuice against Chris Bay and Hikuleo. I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a women's tag team match on that as well.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see if Rosemary and Havoc can keep those titles. Ought to be another interesting match to see. So good stuff for Victory Road next week. So come out and join us if you have not watched Impact. And we've talked about Impact quite a bit, even when it concerns Bray Wyatt. So if you haven't watched, always a good time to join. Come out with us. Check it out on a Thursday night. Come and watch the Go Home show. If you haven't watched it in a while, maybe you used to watch it years ago, come back and check it out. We're here every single Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. start. And we always we do Impact every Thursday. So come check it out. And then check out Victory Road with us next week as well. So Marvin says TNA Victory Road is going to be awesome. So much wrestling out there. Yes. Yes, absolutely. All right. Now we're booking wrestlers.
Yeah, and this one should get a lot of feedback in the chat. So
I think so.
I'm ready to do this. So let's hit the bumper real quick. Yeah, this one, Joe, should get a lot of.
I would think so. Yes. So
a lot of folks talking. So
we started this way back when with one Bray Wyatt, and we've done many others since. And this week.
And no, this isn't him, although it looks like him, but it's not him.
This week we're gonna book Karrion Kross. And a lot of people probably kind of wish we would be booking Karrion Kross, or wish they would be booking Karrion Kross at this point. Oh man, how do we book this guy? Listen, from the time I saw him, and I went back and watched some of his stuff when he was on Impact. First time I saw him was in NXT. From the time I saw that entrance in NXT, I was floored. It was literally one of the best entrances in wrestling I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot because you have some badass entrances over the years. To take Scarlett away from him was criminal, to say the least. To do what they did to him so far in the main roster was also criminal. I don't know if they're going to fix it. I don't know if they're saying that the whole helmet thing came because of merchandising, blah, 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 blah. How do you book this guy? I don't really think it's that hard. He's a monster. He was a monster in NXT. He ran through some of their best that they had down there. He ran through Finn Balor. He ran through Adam Cole. He ran through some of their best. How do you book him? Mick Foley said it the best in that little snippet that he did. If it ain't broke, don't change it. Don't change it. I literally would have Now, I don't know how I would have done it a little bit differently in NXT, but I think I would have had him leave NXT undefeated. I think I would have had him beat Samoa Joe and then say, you know what, I'm done with this place, and give up the title. I think that's how I would have booked that. I would have had him leave there undefeated, and I would have had him come up to the main roster, and whoever it is you put him up against, start him off with a relatively big name. I think, honestly, Jeff, I may have booked him a little bit like Goldberg in his first run in WCW.
You stole my because that's what I was about to say.
I may have booked him just like they booked Goldberg in WCW, because I would have stuck him in matches with, and I haven't been there with any jobbers, nothing like that. I would have stuck him right into a premier match with some big name. Pick one. It could be Randy Orton. It could be Bobby Lashley that he go. Listen, Drew McIntyre. You pick it, but whoever he would end up against, he completely takes out. You book him that strong, and you send him right to the top. And that's what I would have done with Karrion Kross. And it isn't hard. But you do not take listen, that chemistry that he has with Scarlett, no, you don't get rid of that. You don't get rid of that. Listen, I don't care if you maybe thought that Scarlett could wrestle and stuff, and you wanted her to wrestle. That's fine. You can have your cake and eat it too. She can come down and be, with Karrion Kross, and then she can also wrestle. She can get into things with, other women wrestlers and stuff like that, and have her wrestle as well. You can do both. But that's how I would have booked him. But go ahead, Jeff. What do you? Obviously, we were kind of thinking along the same lines.
I would have brought him in with Scarlett, kept the same entrance, everything the same, packaging all the same. A lot of people hate his gear right now. I'm not that off on it. I get what they're going for.
I don't like the suspenders thing, but I like that the mask doesn't bother me. I've seen worse masks than that.
Yeah, but honestly, what I would have done to start out, and some people may say, well, why would you put him up against him? But I would have put him up against Drew and just beat the hell out of Drew. Like, do a program with Drew and just have him beat the hell out of Drew like twice. Then I'd have him go up against someone like Randy Orton and just, whatever. Then I'd have him go up against an AJ Styles. And I don't care about the face or heel stuff. I would have him go up against AJ Styles and beat the hell out of him. Then I put him in the title picture. Case closed.
Yep.
That's that for me makes sense for him because he's that type of guy. Conrad.
What did he say? I have to get that up.
Oh man, if you know, you know. But yeah, I would have booked him that way and just make him just this incredible monster heel.
Yep. Even
more so than Bobby Lashley, and just have him reign over it for quite a while. I'd have him just go on a run that's Goldberg-esque, but not as many squash matches as we saw back then. Not as many. Oh well, here's Huckleberry Joe from from Podunk, South Carolina. We're gonna throw him in here with Goldberg and have him wrestle a 45-second squash match. No, I'd have him wrestle some legit guys and go over, because I feel like he's worth that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see what some of the people are saying. The mask with that old entrance, holy cow. Cross lost to Hardy, and he's running around for the 24/7 title. How can you ignore that? No comparison, but make Cross like an evil character similar to Taker back then. Simple in the 90s. Yeah, S.C. Williams. He can use the mask as a weapon. Let's see. We've got Karrion Kross versus Orton is a match they both have talked about. I think the world of that man. He's legitimately a good dude, and I've interacted with him. I have too. I talked with him on Friday the 13th for like an hour on Twitter, and we were just chatting back and forth about Friday the 13th. I mean, what's not to like?
Right.
He can take off the outfit, but he can use the mask as a weapon, says S.C. Williams. The entrance had fans dying. Yeah, that was just stupid. Just down and out stupid. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It made no sense to me. Just stupid. Just stupid. Cross is the size that Vince likes, so I change it. Cross had the intimidating entrance, undefeated streak, says Deanna. I would possibly even have Karrion Kross steamroll Roman. Listen, two juggernauts. If you didn't bring Brock in, or if Brock didn't come in, and you had those two meet up at some point, title versus title, I'm down. I'm down for that. Imagine you know now you have Demon Balor. Well, he pummeled Balor pretty good. You'd have Balor bring back the Demon to fight him at some point. I mean, so many ways you can go. So many ways you can go. And I mean, really all we can hope for now is that, well, here's what I'm really hoping, Jeff. I hope he gets traded to SmackDown.
Yeah.
That's really what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping he gets traded to SmackDown because I think that would be the best thing for him right now is get traded to SmackDown. Let them handle him with their creative and Paul Heyman and whoever it is working down there. Let them handle Karrion Kross. And hopefully they can figure out some kind of storyline where he could just wipe everything out and just start over down there. But that's I think is the best thing that could happen to him at this point. So I hope they do that.
Yep.
All right.
Well,
I think it's awards time, is it not?
It is. So I've got a little intro for the awards, and then we'll come back on the other side and start handing out some awards and getting people's thoughts on their picks for these awards. So here we go.
All right, let's go. All right, we are doing our mid-year awards. I forgot it's funny. I forgot all about that. This is good shit. It's that we called them the T.I.G.S.
Yep.
The T.I.G.S awards. This is good shit awards. Yes. Oh my God. It seems like it was forever ago.
I know.
It wasn't. It was like literally 5 months, 6 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost, oh my God, I can't believe it's almost October.
I know.
Good Lord, man. This year is going so quick. But yeah, so we are going to just do some award. Now, this is not going to be as long as our actual award show. Yes, Conrad, it is. This is good shit. That's the name of the awards. But yes, so it's stuck. We liked it. It's silly. And yeah. So we are going to give out awards for at the halfway point of the year, male wrestler, female wrestler, breakout star, storyline of the year, match of the year, and pay-per-view of the year. So we have 6 of them that we're going to do. Not going to spend a ton of time on each one. We'll just go through. We'll give you our picks. We'll tell you why. And then we will let you guys, and you guys can, join right in. So when we pick a topic, yep, you just let us know what yours are in the chat, and we will read them off. Hello, Jesse Calynn. Jesse Calynn has her part coming up very soon as well. So stick around for that. You don't want to miss that part because we've got some really funny graphics for that one that you don't want to miss. So make sure you stick around for the lighter side of the ring. All right, let's get started, Jeff. What are we doing first?
All right. So first, Joe, we are going to go with. There we go. Male wrestler of the year.
Male wrestler
of the year.
Wow. There are a lot of great candidates out there for this. I mean, the aforementioned Karrion Kross down in NXT. Man, there are a lot of them. I'm gonna listen. These picks are ours, and you guys listen. You can certainly disagree. That is, again, that's why you're gonna give us the stuff in the chat. It's very close between the top two, but I'm gonna have to go with Kenny. I have to go with Kenny Omega. To see again, it's something we've never seen before. The collector getting all of those belts, the AAA belt, getting the Impact belt, having all of those belts up and down his body for pretty much the entire portion of the year. I think that Kenny has to get it for that. We've never seen it done. He wasn't, hasn't lost until recently when he lost that Impact title. He's had some tremendous matches with some tremendous wrestlers. Seeing him wrestle Moose, he's had some amazing matches, and I think you really just have to give it to him. He is one of the best, and will go down as being one of the best of all time, and a lot of it's for his accolades from New Japan. But I have to give it to Kenny. I like him or hate him, and he wanted you to hate him. That's exactly what he was trying to do. So if you hate him, well, then he did his job. But I have to go with Kenny. I have to go. Yeah. What about you, Jeff?
All right, I'm gonna go with the one that you probably were thinking. Maybe, I don't know. I got to go with Roman.
Yeah, it was one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, it's a toss-up. It's so close. But because you picked Kenny, I didn't want to be the same. So I've got Roman. From a character perspective, this is the best work that Roman Reigns has ever done, period, bar none. Like, there's no question in my mind. But the matches that Roman has had since his return last year at SummerSlam have been phenomenal matches. Think about the storytelling in the match with Jay. Think about the storytelling in that match.
Yeah.
Think about the triple threat match at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, with Edge.
With Edge and Daniel Bryan at the time.
The match with Kevin Owens.
Match with Kevin Owens. Match with Cesaro.
Yep.
I mean, he's had so many good matches. And I think people get caught up sometimes because they look at Roman and they think he's one-dimensional. Honestly, no, not at all. He's not one-dimensional. This is the best work of his career by far, bar none, no questions asked. So he's my pick. Yeah. Roman versus Ray in the Cell was good. Yes, it was. Yeah. And that was on free TV. So
yeah, it was. Yeah.
So, I mean, good match. Good
Looks
stuff.
like a lot of people agree with us in the chat. I'm seeing a lot of Kennys. I even saw an F Kenny from James. I see Kenny Omega. James with Josh Alexander. All right. I'm James.
No disagreement.
He could definitely have been my pick. There's no question. He, more than probably anyone else in Impact, has had the best year of any single wrestler over there. So that is absolutely not a bad pick at all. Not a bad pick at all. Roman or Kenny said Azan. Kenny says Derek. Kenny by God Omega says the Coog. Roman says Jacob. So Roman agrees with you. Haven't been this excited to see someone every week since the Fiend's debut. Conrad said I could have went with Reigns. Kenny for what he's been able to do and work all these shows at such a high level. Big Dan says Roman is my pick, but he said it's a close race.
Very close.
Kenny by God Omega, male wrestler of the year is Kenny Omega. Roman for best character change making. So it seems like everybody's on the same page. It's either Kenny or Roman. So imagine a match between Kenny and Roman, says Mark. Right.
Right.
If only. If only. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. All right. What's next?
All right. So we go from male to female wrestler of the year.
All right, guys, let us know who you think it is. This one was kind of easy for me, Jeff.
Yeah.
This one was an easy pick for me. I have to go there. To me, there was really no other choice. There wasn't even really a 1A with this one for me. Deonna Purrazzo, no question. What she has done, the people who she's taken on everyone and beat everyone. I mean, just taken on all comers. The match that she had at Empower was absolutely tremendous, and now she's going after Mickie James. She's got 2 belts. She's dominant. I'll tell you, man, she is, and I'll make a comment. She is as dominant as I have seen a women's wrestler in a long time. In a long time. So absolutely, I think, Deonna Purrazzo. And again, I really don't think that there's a 1-8 here. People are saying Britt. I can get that you would say Britt, but I don't think she hasn't had it long enough. She had some great matches, but she hasn't had it long enough. I give her a little bit more time, and you might be seeing her. I mean, she could be a pick for next year. But for me, it's definitely Deonna Purrazzo, no question. What about you?
Just to kind of go off of what people are saying, Britt and Thunder Rosa
are
tremendous. my 2 A and B, and you can put them in whichever order you want to. But for me, Deonna, what she's done this year, over the last year and a half, the fact that she got Impact Wrestler of the Year last year, she's continued that climb up to the top. But now I gotta see Britt and Deonna. I gotta see that at Bound for Glory. Yeah. That's another reason why I'm thinking, if Bound for Glory is what we think it is, put these 2 together at Bound for Glory.
Yeah,
let's see that. But yeah, Britt Baker, she, from a character standpoint, from what she does on the mic, from what she does in the ring, I can't disagree with people, but just for me, my opinion, Deonna takes it for me.
Yeah, I agree. Derek says Deonna. So does Azan. James Grant says Britt Baker. Azan said Virtuosa. Tony says Britt Baker. Bonkers LFC says Britt and Bailey and Sasha. Jacob says Britt Baker. Bianca Belair says Jason Michael. Okay, a little shout out for Bianca. Nice. Deonna's on another level. She's insanely good. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. She's the female Roman Reigns with the momentum she has. She's a beast. Deonna, because of her becoming a huge star after being discarded by an out-of-touch old man. She's Marcus Allen in Kansas City after Al Davis discarded him. Deonna, heck yeah. Britt, only because she's been in the face in a sea of girls that are less experienced. Bailey was good until she got injured. Britt Baker is number 2 in my opinion, says Conrad. All right, well, there you go. Cool. So a lot of people are agreeing with us. We had some different names in there. Very, very cool. All right, what's up next?
All right, next, man. And this is a tough one, but breakout star of the year. There's so many that I can think of, but breakout star of the year.
There are a lot I could think of. Man, yeah, this is a tough one. You can really say a lot of names here. Man,
I'll go ahead and tell you, I got a flat-footed tie. So,
do you really? Yeah. I mean, I can probably do that too. I can say Josh's name for certain here. I'm gonna go with Darby Allin. I think I'm gonna go with Darby. And listen, from where he was coming in, and then having a guy like Sting come in, and get him into some of these big time matches that he's been in. He just wrestled CM Punk, which is huge for him as well. I mean, Jungle Boy's another great name, Bonkers. Yeah, I mean, his match with Kenny Omega was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hell, you could say Orange Cassidy too. You can throw his name out there as well. He had some amazing matches. I just think I'm going to go with Darby, and a very, very close over Josh. Very, very, very close, because Josh definitely, I mean, the definition of a breakout star is he broke out. Josh broke out this year. There is no question. This is his year in Impact. And I think even bigger things are ahead of him. But I'm going to go with Darby just from everything I've seen from him. The amazing matches he was in. My God, that match with Ethan Page. Oh, tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. That was an amazing match. Amazing match. And listen, Darby is he's a star. He's a bona fide star in AEW right now. And people are going to watch him. And CM Punk, brings him up that much more. So I'm going to go with Darby Allin. Curious to hear what you say, Jeff. What are you going with?
I'll be honest. It's our show, so I can do this. I've got a 3-way tie.
Why not?
I'm gonna go with Josh. Because what he's done has been tremendous. I'll go ahead and give you a spoiler. I'm going to talk about him again. I'm going to talk about Josh again.
Yeah, I think I know where.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Second for me, the other person in this tie for me is Bianca Belair.
Okay.
What she's done since debuting in the pandemic, and having the run that she had in the Rumble the year before, and then winning it this year, winning that championship, having the WrestleMania moment. She gets a spot at that table too. And then last but certainly not least, Moose.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Moose for me over the last year. Jesse is Josh Alexander from Impact.
From Impact. Yeah.
But yeah, it honestly, I mean, Moose, what he's done over this year, even if you didn't pay attention to Moose last year, like end of 2020, even if you didn't pay attention to him, watch Hard to Kill and watch that 6-man tag match and tell me who was the shining star of that match. He was in a match with the Good Brothers, Kenny Omega, Rich Swann, and Chris Sabin. And he outworked he outperformed everybody in that match. My opinion. I might get a little bit of heat for that. It's fine. He outperformed everybody. That top rope Spanish fly that he hit, I can still see that in my mind right now. So for me, this is, like Conrad said, this is a very tough category.
It is.
You can easily come up with 10 people, and we didn't even bring up Cameron Grimes or LA Knight or anybody like that. But yeah, I could go on.
There's so many. Yeah, there really are. You can say so many from different companies. I mean, you could talk about Trevor Murdoch in NWA. You can, there are really Camille from NWA as well. There are really a ton of names you could say here. Let's see what some of these guys said. Azan said Josh. Derek said Josh. Elijah said Deanna, Roman, or Moose. Torn between Britt, Deanna, Thunder Rosa, and Bianca. All good choices. Damian Priest. So vote for Damian Priest, says James Grant. All right. Riddle, Jungle Boy, or Darby Allin. Yeah, what about Riddle? Riddle's been tremendous. All great choices. Damian Priest again, says Elijah. Dante Marin or Josh. LA Knight and Cameron Grimes. Darby Allin, says James. Cameron Grimes. I'm in let's see here. Darby or Bianca. I like Josh, but for me it's Darby Allin. Thunder Rosa for the female. Rick Boogs, says Big Dan. Rick Boogs. I'm not upset with that. Britt Baker, Josh Alexander, Darby Allin, and Cameron Grimes, says Conrad. Darby went from mid-card to pure main eventer. Dante Martin, three-way tie. Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, Cameron Grimes. Jungle Boy's a great pick. Camille for NWA Women, Josh Alexander, or Carmelo Hayes. Riddle is a good one. Oh, so yeah, definitely over Cape Row, no doubt. No doubt. Boogs. Omos. Big Dan said Omos. I can't argue with it.
How could you? I mean, you can't argue with that because the man went from debuting to being a tag champ.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really argue with that either. So,
and he was just face to face with Bobby Lashley and took Bobby Lashley out.
Exactly.
So, yeah, absolutely. Let's see what else. Did I miss anybody? Bianca for me, I think. I kind of feel like Cross was in NXT until they brought him up to Raw. It's very slow grind now. Yeah, I'd say so. Big E is next for breakout. Maybe so. This could be.
Disagree with that.
Could be Big E's year. We'll see. All right, let's move on.
All right, Joe. So we go from breakout star. This is tough. Maybe it's not tough. Storyline of the year.
Boy.
Maybe it's not as tough as I think.
I don't think that this. I think this is a pretty easy one for me anyway, and I'm gonna go obviously with the family and Roman. To me, when you start a show, and SmackDown has been good, the Bloodline, yes, and when you start a show like SmackDown with this, and you end it with this week in and week out, that's saying something. And everything that comes in between that show kind of revolves around this. So you get little promos with Heyman, and you get little things going on, and it just goes from beginning to end, and it goes all through that show. I've got to go with the Bloodline here. I think a lot of people may have said Kenny with the belts, the collector storyline, Kenny with the belts, Conrad saying Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, but I have to go with Roman. I just think that, listen, that whole show is based around Roman Reigns. And I think that, from story to story to story to story that they've had, now they've even upped it a notch. They brought Lesnar back, and now they even upped it. So, yeah, absolutely. I'm going with the Bloodline and Roman storyline. What are you going to say, Jeff?
I got to be honest with you. I was debating between Kenny and Hangman or the Bloodline. Those are my two that immediately that I went to. You could also throw in Josh in terms of his pursuit for a championship into that mix. You can throw in Deanna and her just incredible reign over women's wrestling. But for me, again, we talked about it a little bit earlier. This is the best work that Roman Reigns has done in his career.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And here's something else that I'm going to say. This is some of Paul Heyman's best work that he's ever done. And I realize that that's saying a lot, given what he did as Paul E. Dangerously, given what he did in ECW, everything he's done with Brock Lesnar, everything he did with CM Punk. But Paul Heyman in this role is so darn good. I mean, it's just so darn good. But yeah, the Bloodline for me is the story because, you started out with him saying, "Acknowledge me," and Jay was against it, and he beat him into submission.
Yep.
And then Jimmy was like, "You're not going to pump my brother out like that."
Yep.
And Jimmy had to join.
Yep.
And now you got Finn. You had Edge in the mix. You had Daniel Bryan in the mix. Finn Balor, Mysterio. I mean, everything that right now, everything is just revolving around that story, and they're doing it so well, and they're keeping it so fresh. So for me, hands down Bloodline. But I'll be honest, Hangman and Kenny were a close second.
Hell, I mean, you've got stories waiting for that. You've got Seth in
Yeah.
the wings. You have a
Yes.
possible Seth versus Roman storyline waiting in the wings too. I just that the way they're tying that all together with everything. Yeah, there was really nothing else I could have picked. But let's see what you guys thought. We got let's see, the Bloodline. Yeah, Roman. We have everything Roman. LOL. The Bloodline. A lot of Bloodline. Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, says Conrad. Okay. Roman and Cena. The promos are amazing. Storyline of the year is the Bloodline. LA Knight versus Grimes was good.
It was good.
Yeah, it was. Storyline, how WWE fired Bray Wyatt. Oh boy. The Bloodline again. Looks like a lot of people are doing the Bloodline here. I agree. The Bloodline. Sting versus Tully is an interesting storyline because they introduced the Nature Boy. Someone said, "Oh, okay, Bonkers said Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle."
That was good too. That was
yeah,
really good.
Very good choice. I mean, that was going on for a long time. They had that going on, so yeah, good choice.
And Joe, we didn't even bring up Bullet Club versus the Elite.
No,
you know, like we didn't. I mean, it's there. The story is there. It's not, it's not anywhere close to its climax yet, but it's there. So
yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's move on.
Oh God,
Here's another one.
Dreading. This is the one I've been dreading because it's like, what do you even choose here? Joe, match of the year.
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm going to reserve my judgment, and I'm going with a three-way tie on this one because I can't pick.
I can't.
So for me, the Iron Man match, Josh Alexander and TJP, no question. That was an amazing match. Absolutely amazing match. The ending was tremendous, so that is number one. Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. I have never seen a women's match like that. The blood, the gore in that match, I have never seen. And I've watched a lot of bloody wrestling matches, and I have never, ever seen a match like that between two women. Fantastic. And the fact that they put Thunder Rosa over and she won that match, where Britt was up and coming, and she, and now she's a champion, but now that reserves the right where she could say, "Hey, I got a win over you," and somewhere down the road, Thunder Rosa is going to get a shot at that title. Tremendous, and but the one that topped them all is another match that I don't think I've ever seen anything like, and that is from NXT Takeover, Walter and Ilja. I have never seen two men in a wrestling ring beat each other the way that those two did. Yeah. And it wasn't the cool thing about that was there wasn't tons of spots. There wasn't a lot of, high flying off the ropes, this and that we tend to get a lot of today. That was just a downright beatdown by two men. And you saw the way their bodies looked after the match was over. They looked like they were in a war. And that absolutely was just absolutely impressive. And to see them come out of that match and they just, you knew that when Ilja won that title, you could just see the emotion from him after winning that. And again, they were in a war, and that was just amazing to watch. So I couldn't pick one of those three. I just couldn't. I couldn't pick any one of those three because they were all amazing. And there are more, and some of you guys are already mentioning some more. There were a ton. There have been a lot, and this is what I'm saying about being. This is what I'm saying about being a wrestling fan. Look at what we're getting. Look at all the cool stuff that we're seeing, and we're not even talking about stuff that we're not even talking about stuff from ROH or stuff from MLW or stuff from the Indies or stuff from NWA. We're not even talking about some of those. But this is the kind of stuff we're getting. Sasha versus Bianca at WrestleMania.
That's one of mine.
Cross has been in a couple too. Karrion Kross has had a couple amazing matches with Finn Balor. It just absolutely made Deanna and Melina. Yeah, we'll name all your guys too, but go ahead, Jeff. What are yours?
I'm with you, Joe. I got a three-way tie.
Yeah, I couldn't pick one.
And I'm not putting them in order, but you mentioned Walter and Ilja. That match for me was just tremendous. I mean, it really was tremendous. A lot of people look at the 80s and 90s as the golden age of wrestling, and that was, a great time period. And I'm not arguing with that. This year, 2021, for wrestling,
oh boy,
and great matches. I mean, there's an abundance, but Walter and Ilja, Bianca and Sasha, for the match that it was, but two, the historical significance of that match. And third for me, I've got to go with the Iron Man match. Got to go with the Iron Man match between Josh and TJP. You want to talk about a match that hit every bit of emotion and storytelling.
Yep.
To show it where it looked like Josh was just going to run away with it. And then all of a sudden, TJP pulls out that pin to tie it up at the very end. And then you get overtime, and it spills over into the regular show. And then you get all the wrestlers coming out from the back, standing ringside to cheer these guys on. And Josh overcomes another obstacle. Like that match for me. If you haven't watched it,
oh man,
just go watch it. Obviously, it's a long match. I get it. But and James just said the one that just landed right outside of my top three, Gresham and Titus. That, I mean, it was tremendous. I mean, this is just a great year for wrestling.
They're gonna have a hard time picking a number one, even in the dirt sheets and stuff like that, because there have been so many good ones. Many good ones. Let's see what everybody has to say. Butterspark says Walter versus Dragunov 2. Daniel Bryan versus Roman versus Edge doesn't get the respect that they deserve. It was really good, says Elijah. Okay, yeah.
True.
Three-way tie. Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers. Yeah, that's definitely going to get consideration for it. Edge versus Rollins at SummerSlam. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. Walter versus Dragunov. Uso versus Roman. Cena versus Roman wasn't bad. I thought it was pretty good. Edge versus Seth, storyline-wise. Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks, number 1. Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, number 2. Kenny Omega and Rey Fénix. So there's a different answer. All right. Bucks versus Lucha Brothers getting a lot of love. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. Walter versus Dragunov. Edge versus Rollins at SummerSlam. Damian Priest versus Drew versus Sheamus was an awesome match. All right. So let's see a little bit of everything. Jesse says Sasha versus Bianca at Mania. I love the 5-men match with Cross and NXT. Some of these recent ones with Roman. Conrad says Bianca versus Sasha. All Out Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks. Walter versus Dragunov. Thunder Rosa versus Britt. Omega versus Fénix. Shingo versus Cobb. And Okada versus Ospreay. Man. Yeah, so much. Moose versus Kenny. So many more. Yeah, it really was. Looking back, and we're not even done. We have a quarter of the year to go, with some big events still to come, and one of the biggest could be, still to come with what we're going to get in October. Man, Travis says All Out Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks. Yeah. Even Matt Taven versus Vincent Steel Cage was amazing. Let's not forget too. We're even forgetting the X Division match that they had brought
Ultimate
back.
X.
Yeah, we forget the Ultimate X match that they brought back that they haven't had in a while, which was awesome as well.
And Joe, we're forgetting a couple. Here's the thing: so many of us get caught up in just thinking about the pay-per-view matches.
Yeah.
Does anybody else remember the Drew Sheamus match?
Oh my
That
God,
was
the
on
first
Raw.
one that they yeah.
That match was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I forget. Ricochet had a good one. Was it him and John Morrison?
I think it might have been. Yeah,
Um,
Ricochet was in an amazing match. Yeah.
I mean, there are so many that have been on free TV
Yeah.
that people forget about. Yeah, Kenny versus Sammy Callahan. We saw a pizza cutter.
Yeah, we saw how to use a pizza cutter as a weapon. Yes.
I mean, nobody mentioned Finn Balor and Pete Dunne. That was a classic.
That was the one who was bending his fingers back all throughout the match.
Exactly.
The finger play. Yes, I do. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, we could bring back our top 10 and just do it on matches.
You could.
And we could all have a different list. So
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Andrade and Pac last night might be up there. Oh man, so much good stuff. Absolutely. All right, we have one last award, I believe.
Yep, and then Jesse, you got to tune up the band. She
Jesse,
apparently has a lot.
Get ready, Jesse.
She apparently has a lot tonight. Pay-per-view of the year, though.
Oh my gosh, this is a tough one as well. These are all difficult to pick, but I'm gonna go with one, and I'm gonna go with my heart on it, because I went into it not knowing what I was gonna see, and I absolutely loved it, and I thought they knocked it out of the park. And while there are some easy picks for me, there's AEW with the surprises with All Out. There is Slammiversary, which I thought was tremendous. There is NXT Takeover, which I thought was tremendous. Everybody, you guys are all going to probably think I'm crazy, but I'm going with Empower. I thought it was great. I thought they absolutely knocked it out of the park. And I thought Mickie James did a tremendous job. They hit all the feels. We got some fantastic moments with Awesome Kong and Gail Kim, with Mickie James coming out, with so many of these other women. And oh man, do I wish that they could have had these other women who were tweeting at them on Twitter that night there. And from these other companies that really would have loved to have been there as well. But I just thought that was tremendous. I really did. And I enjoyed the heck out of it. I loved it. I hope they do it every year, because what it shows to me is that women take a back seat in wrestling to no one. And they can run a pay-per-view like this, and they can have some amazing, amazing matches. And we saw Chelsea Green walk out of there and kind of move on to get a title shot. Just there were just a lot of moments in that, and I loved it. So that's mine of the year so far. Now again, we're not done, so I could have a different pick by the end of the year. But for me so far, I'm taking Empower. I thought it was fantastic. Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm gonna do it again because it's our show.
Yes.
I got a 1A, a 1B, and an honorable mention.
Okay.
For me, Slammiversary and All Out were the two best pay-per-views so far this year. Slammiversary because the matches on that card were outstanding. Just outstanding. To bring back Ultimate X, tremendous.
Yep.
All Out. I didn't watch it when everyone else watched it.
Yep.
I just watched it this week, and the matches that were on that card, aside from one, were phenomenal. Um, but the landscape of wrestling changing with Ruby Soho going in there and winning that battle royal and being in line for a title shot. Bryan Danielson showing up. Adam Cole showing up. CM Punk wrestling for the first time in 7 years. It was a tremendous night. It really was a tremendous night. The match between Omega and Christian, I can keep going on and on. Those two were great.
Yeah.
And for my honorable mention, I'm going to take us all the way back to the beginning of the year. Wrestle Kingdom. An extraordinary 2 nights. Extraordinary 2 days of wrestling. I mean, just again, if you're a wrestling fan, you're spoiled as hell right now.
Yeah,
I mean, you're spoiled because this is a good year. This is a good year for wrestling and great year for pay-per-views. And we mentioned one takeover. There were a couple takeovers that were great this year that could be in the running for this.
Yep.
Hard to Kill at the beginning of the year for Impact. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just it was a good year. But that's those 3 for me really stood out. You can throw in the takeovers too. And I think a lot of people need to appreciate Mania the first night.
Yeah.
Special.
Yeah.
Stand and Deliver. Yeah, Butters. Mania the first night was special. And I hope people realize that too. Don't sleep on it. But that's
I think Mania, looking back at it now, I think they ran into the battle against those cinematic matches, and I think that's what ended up hurting it, because they had to go up against that Boneyard match, which that was one of the coolest things people have ever seen, and I think that probably hurt it a little bit. But all right, let's see what everybody says for this pay-per-view of the year. For me, is a tie. AEW All Out and SummerSlam. A lot of people saying All Out. Deanna says it. Conrad as well. NXT TakeOver at Mania weekend. Both nights are amazing, said Jacob. Yeah, no, you're right. It was. Impact Slammiversary until I saw All Out there at 1A and 1B. And WA Women pay-per-view. Thank you, Mickey, Legend, and Kong and Gail. Yeah, I thought that was fantastic. I really did. I thought she did a tremendous job with that. Big Dan says All Out because it changed the game. I don't watch AEW, but that basically proved that Vince needs to get his crap together and quickly. NXT TakeOver WrestleMania edition, very close second. Respect to Mickey. Empower was great. We see some All Out there. Stand and Deliver. Yeah, Butterspark said Double or Nothing too. Good night, Gust. Elimination Chamber 2021. Mania Night 1. Stand and Deliver. First night of the significance of anything the company has gone through to welcome fans back. Yeah. Royal Rumble 2021, says Travis. Deanna says Mania. These are times fans will be talking about for decades. Wrestle Kingdom, says Elijah. Agrees with Jeff. Can't vote on All Out. I heard it was the best and really good, with the exception of Punk's match, but I couldn't watch it because I didn't have the money, nor was it on Watch Wrestling. Surprise, AEW All Out. NWA 74, says Travis. So there you go. All right. The man, Royal Rumble with Brock, TakeOver, AEW All Out. Yeah, so everybody's kind of all over the place, but you know what that shows me? Everybody enjoys something different.
Travis with a good shout too. We didn't even mention Rebellion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
That was man. Good stuff.
Good stuff. All right. Well, Jesse, I hope you're ready to roll. We are at that time where we are doing the lighter side of wrestling, and we always have Jesse Calynn join us at this time to end the show with everybody on a laughing note. So, Jesse, you're up. She says she's got a lot of stuff to go. We have a graphic, I think, too, that we're going to put up there eventually. I wonder if he is still around. Is the I don't know. Is he still here?
You know, I don't know if he's still here, Joe. But apparently we have some critics in the crowd. I think tonight.
Oh, are the critics out in the balcony?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
there they are. It's the Calynn Corner heckler section. We've got C saying, seriously, Jesse, with a fish. And we've got Statler and Waldorf down there as well. Jesse has her own heckler section. It's become so good that Jesse has her own heckler section on the show. James says it's almost 4. Wow, it's 4:30 there, dude. I'm off to bed, guys. See you all for all right, James. You take care, buddy. Who's the hecklers? Well, you know who the one on the left is, Jesse. You should know. You drew it. That is Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets.
Yeah.
You never watched the Muppet Show? They were the Muppet hecklers. They were the two old guys that would sit up in the balcony and they would heckle everything that the Muppets did during the show. So that is who the other two guys are. So there you go. I love it. That's excellent. Excellent. We didn't even cover the Kevin Owens tweet. We did. You're right. We didn't. We forgot all about it. We forgot all about it. Yeah, we did. We'll talk about that at some point during the week, I'm sure, on some of our shows. Are we going to be back doing Impact, Travis? Oh, yeah, we do Impact every week. Every single Thursday, we are here for Impact, so come and join us. Yes, we do Impact every week. So Jesse's warming up the band. While she's doing that, we'll just tell you what we've got coming up next. So nothing tomorrow. Obviously, we're off. Monday, we are back with Abby's Window. So Abby's Window starts at 7. So make sure you the time change. So 7:00 p.m. Eastern time, it will be Jeff and Jody. I'm not sure if they have anybody else with them this week, but always somebody that could pop in there. So Abby's Window is at 7:00 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. And then right afterwards, we will have our Raw watch along. So that will start at 7:30-ish, I believe. Yes. So the Raw watch along will be right after Abby's. And then we will do our Raw watch along. And then the next show we will have will be Impact Wrestling, like I just said, on Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll do an after the Impact as well, but that will be prediction show for Victory Road. So we always substitute into predictions on that show for the upcoming pay-per-view. And then on Friday, we're back with SmackDown, with our SmackDown watch along. And then on Saturday, instead of our show that we're doing right now, we will have Impact Victory Road this coming Saturday. So make sure you join us for all of that stuff. If you are new, make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button on the stream before you leave. And also make sure you hit the notifications button so you get notified as to when we are having future content. So, all right, Jesse, it's all you. It's all you. It's your time now. And I don't see your heckler, so maybe you'll get by without it. He might have fallen asleep because it's very late there.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 in the morning. So you may not get heckled tonight. So there you go. Butter says, yay, Abby's. Yes, Abby's will be back on Monday night. So good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Jesse. We're waiting. We're waiting. Elijah says, play the woo.
How do you know I have that on deck? How do you know? Hold on. I'm trying to pull it back up. Of course, you gotta be kidding me. I've been having some troubles with my
the soundboard,
my soundboard. So, here we go. Here it is. All right, here we go. First one, Joe.
All right. Joke number 1 from Calynn Corner. I tell you a joke about unemployed people, but none of them work. Oh, yes.
I'm trying to pull up my other board now, so I'm sorry that I don't have the. Hold on. Here we go. Better late than never.
There it is. That was a throwback joke. Yes, it was. Cue Final Jeopardy music waiting for Jesse. All right. So there you go. We're off and running. We're off and running. Oh man. Awesome. Thanks all for coming out. Thanks for staying later. We're usually done by now, but we had a lot to cover. Really, we could have made it. It could have even been longer than it was because, I mean, Dan even said we missed some things. There was just a lot to go over when we haven't been on for a while. So, and we had planned to do these awards a while back, but we got inundated with pay-per-views and just had no way to do it. So, and who knows when we'll be back again. So cherish this moment because the way they set up pay-per-views on Saturday now, we may not be around for a while again. Okay. Real number one. So she had a fake number one. She had a warm-up number one, but this is the real number one. My teacher said he is going to call my dad. I can't wait to meet him.
Oh.
Okay, then.
That's how we're going tonight.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Gosh. All right, we got number two. I was addicted to the hokey pokey. I knew this was as soon as I read hokey pokey, I knew where this was going. But thankfully, I turned myself around. That's what it's all about. Yes, I knew as soon as I saw hokey pokey, I'm like, yep. Oh, awesome.
Good stuff. That's a good one.
Awesome. Deanna's loving it. Oh, man. Elijah saying LOL, Conrad.
You know what's funny, Joe? We've got people that have been watching with us but have never been to one of these. So this is cool that they get to, be here for this show tonight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been a while. Like I said, it's been a while since we've been able to do this. And really, this is where everything originated.
Yep.
Like this is where everything came from, was this show essentially. So yeah. All right. Number 3. How did Rihanna know that Chris Brown was cheating on her? There was a different color of lipstick on his knuckles.
Hold on. I got to do this one. I got to do this on this one. Hopefully I don't confuse my soundboard by trying to switch between. But I got to play this.
Damn! Yeah. Jesse's a little bit racy tonight. We got a little bit of it's been a while since Jesse's done this, so you get a little bit nasty. A little bit
Okay.
Like Janet Jackson used to say, nasty. Yeah, a little bit nasty. Big Dan says, if you're looking for a fun show to watch between wrestling shows, check out Jellystone on HBO Max. It's Hanna-Barbera characters living in a town. No way. Really? Oh, that would be amazing. All right, here's number 4. Cremation. The last chance for a smoking hot body.
Wow.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good. Oh, man. Oh, that was good. And she gets to operate with no heckler. No heckler tonight. She gets to, oh, man. The stage is yours. Fantastic. Butterspark says, yikes. Number 5. Dude told me I thought my vasectomy would keep my wife from getting pregnant. But apparently, it just changes the color of the baby.
Oh, damn. Oh. Hey, we talked up Eckler, so I got to put this back up there.
Oh, there he is. He says, wow, it stinks in here. It's fishy. But because you guys haven't done this for a while, it's sort of mixed with a lingering dust smell. Jessie needs to clean her corner and other places. Oh, my God.
It's getting a little racy in here tonight.
It is. It's getting really racy. It is. Almost feel like I'm watching an Andrew Dice Clay or a George Carlin special here. Holy cow. All right, number 6. 2 artists had an art contest. It ended in a draw.
Oh, God.
Jessie says, oh my gosh, see, she's not. Woo, holy mackerel. Oh my God, you can tell it's late. Everybody's crazy.
Everybody's, yeah. Oh, man.
Oh my God. So
how many
awesome.
more do you have, Jesse?
Yeah, I know. Oh, was Jessie on the set of The Wonder Years because she's a little savage tonight? Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And they're doing a remake of that.
They are. Yeah, they are.
I really want to see it too. So
I saw the commercial for that. Number 7. What do you call it when a midget waves at you? A microwave. Oh my gosh. That was a good. Yeah, that was good. That was really good.
That was good. That was good.
C says she's been saving them up because you guys have had weeks off. See, I literally blame you two for all of this. So what you're saying is we can't take weeks off anymore because then she has more and more.
Right.
Derek says, "See, wrestling made me drop my phone." Now I know what became of that gnome, says Butterspark. Conrad's thinking about Winnie Cooper. Yeah. So many people. Winnie Cooper had Winnie Cooper crushes. Yes. I always think of the opening theme. What would you do if I sang out of tune? All right, number 8. My relative died. Oh my gosh, Jesse, was that when we couldn't remember his blood type as he died? He kept insisting for us to be positive, but it's hard without him. That was good too.
She's swinging for the fences tonight.
Yeah, I agree. This is some of her best stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it really is.
She saved it up, but this is good. Yeah, this is good stuff.
Oh
my gosh. I think everybody needed this. Here we go. We got number 9. Did you know my grandpa was part of World War II? He killed Hitler. Oh my God. Oh jeez. Oh my God. You know, everybody needed this. See, this is the kind of stuff. Jesse, you should provide this as a service on Twitter. You should literally go on Twitter and you should just do this on Twitter just randomly and just let everybody read this stuff, and maybe they would giggle a little bit more and people wouldn't like be constantly bickering at each other about stupid crap.
True.
Was Joe singing Sexual Chocolate in Coming to America? I was attempting to do Joe Cocker, but it didn't come out really well. Oh my gosh. Jesse, you have more? It becomes funny the moment you catch the joke on that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely did. Definitely did. Oh my gosh. Are we done? Do you have more? Up 10 and final. Here we go. Thanks for explaining the word many to me. It means a lot. We started with one that made you think. We ended with one that made you think, and we had all the racy stuff in between. He says, knock, knock, who's there? Fish, fish who? Bless you.
Oh man.
Oh, did you hear about the short-lived singing group in the 80s featuring Willie Nelson and Betty Ford? It was called High and Dry. Wow, dude. Oh my gosh. Wow, guys. Well, thank you. Hey, I needed that. Sometimes it's really good to laugh, and whichever it is, whether you're laughing with Jesse or you're like C and the hecklers, and you're laughing at Jesse, either one, it works. It's good stuff. So there you go, guys. That is it for us tonight. We again, we apologize for keeping you late, but we had a lot of stuff to go over. We wanted to make sure we got those awards out, and hopefully we won't have that long of a time again before we do one of these, because we enjoyed doing it. Hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight as well. And as always, make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you leave a like on the stream, and make sure that you hit the notifications button if you want to know when we have wrestling content coming up. So that's it for us tonight, guys. Again, don't forget to join us on Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Abby's window. And then we roll right into the Raw Watch Along right afterwards. So from Jeff and from myself, have a great rest of your night. A lot of you going to sleep now. I know I will be soon because I got to get up for work tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night. Have an awesome Sunday. And try not to let the trolls get to you. Try to enjoy what you enjoy. And don't worry so much about what other people enjoy. Enjoy what you like what you like. And yeah, stay safe. And hopefully we will see you all again on our next show on Monday. Have a great night, guys. See you soon.